Disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you every fucking game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3! Win!
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me doubts, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP, from the 313. And by my side, filling in for Mr. Mikey, is the Ralph Rant. What's going on, Ralph? How you doing, brother?
Tommy, what is up tonight, my brother? What is up?
Oh, a whole bunch of nothing. Not at least for the Bills, that is. But hey, we're here. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills, the 2025 Buffalo Bills, who are disappointing many Bills Mafia out there. We'll get into some of the chats, and then we'll dive right into this, because I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks, at least not on here. That is, we've talked obviously on Twitter a little bit, but we got a lot to unpack tonight. Scott Blakely, I swear, if Bills blow this game Sunday, I'm out for the season. Scott Blakely, Brown and Dawkins not playing. That is correct, which is a big loss for this game. Two of our best gone for the weekend against a very good defensive line in the Pittsburgh Steelers, which that sucks. Okay, so we won't get false starts and blown assignments. Yeah, we'll get into that too. Kake, questionable. Just has me exhausted. Guy pulls a ham and then pain for the 3-4 we got. We'll see what happens. I haven't heard much about him either. So that's, boy, yeah, Jesus. Let's fucking go. Recipe for victory, same. Score more than the other team. Yes, that's actually the recipe. I'm dead honest. Like, that's what I've been saying all year. Fuck the defense. The defense is, I hate to say that, and you know, obviously I don't want to say that, but at this point, guys, it's all about the offense. They got to get going. That's the only way that the season's going to be saved. And right now, with all the injuries, I don't know. McBean, baby, yeah.
The defense, the defense is more or less held its end. Maybe not in first halves, but
we're definitely going to get into that. I'm going to talk to you about that, because I have my thoughts about that, and we'll get into that for sure, because I do want to hear your thoughts on the defense as well. So McBean, Weston is a Chiefs fan. You guys are going through it yourself, man. Dude, this is a crazy season, Weston, for all the previous top AFC teams that are just underperforming, and all the teams that we didn't really see performing well are performing excellent. So it's an odd season, but it's not over yet. That's the good news. Robert, good evening, Ralph and Tommy. That's right, Robert Wilson in the house. Let's go Longhorns. All right. Yeah, I think Texas is where Texas plays Texas, or did they win? I'm not sure. What am I seeing with my lying eyes? Right. Tommy been loving all the tweets I've been sending him. Yeah, Weston's been telling me all the good stuff going on in Buffalo, which I already know, but that's all right. Run the fucking ball! And I'm all caught up in the chat. All right, so, yes, I'm tanking the season. And you know what? For Chiefs fans, who gives a shit? You guys are so spoiled with all your Super Bowls. Anyways, what is one down season? Listen, I wish, as a Bills fan, I could be like, we won a couple already. What's a bad season? You know, we haven't even gotten one. So, Ralph. All right, so, I'm glad you kicked it off with the defense. I get what you're. So I guess I'm on the fence with this. Not even on the fence. Here's my thoughts, and I'll let you talk. So the defense has played better in these second halves of some of these games, right, that we've lost. True. I'll give it that. But to the losses, the losses, though, were to some bad teams, right? They weren't like the, unbelievable offensive squads. The Dolphins just scored 9 the week before. They're not, they're on a fire sale, and we pretty much give up a shitload of points in the first half. Run defense was terrible. It got better throughout the game, but still unacceptable. Houston, same thing. Houston's offensive line beat up, a lot of nobodies, backup quarterback. They give up 20 in the first half, and then 3 in the second. I got to go back to see the score. But, however, still, I would like to see that game. A good defense would hold that team to 10, 13. Maybe we win that game. However, the story is the offense, right? The offense has to be better.
Indeed.
We know this. We know this defense isn't going to stand its own against the better teams. That's my concerns. Who cares? Like, I get what you're going to probably go with, and I'll let you go, but it's still, you can't give up that many points to bad teams, especially when the offense is struggling. And unfortunately, our defense just isn't good enough to even keep the bad offenses to under, let's say 14 points. So go ahead, Ralph.
Well, defensively, what's going on? We're still playing a lot of rookies and practice squad players on a high percentage of defensive line snaps. We know that. We've got Sanders and Walker will be highly featured tomorrow. Joey's a couple of weeks removed from the Q-tip. Epinesa hasn't been extremely sharp since the concussion. We've got Solomon. I mean, we're doing some crazy things like playing TJ Sanders out at the end a couple of times. McDermott is coordinating this defense, and I don't know if he's so flustered with the first half offensive performances that it takes him till the second half to figure out what's going on. And we still don't know what it is that Bobby Babich does up in the booth all game.
I have no idea. That's a great question. What does Joe Brady do? Because apparently both are not doing their job. So
they are the only team in the NFL where both the offensive and defensive coordinators, by name anyway, spend the entire game hiding up in the booth. I see all these games with DCs and even D'Amico Ryans, who's a defensive guy, talking up his guys. And we have on the sideline McDermott with the Mickey Mouses on, and he's talking to, I don't know, whoever. We never see him discuss anything with any players actually on the field. Man to man, look them in the eye, find out what's going on. And then, and then as far as Babich goes, if he's not coordinating the defense, why when we were blitzing Baker Mayfield and he was 2 for 5 with an interception on blitzes, yet we only blitzed him 23% of the game. I mean, if Bobby Babich is not coordinating the defense, does he have a notepad writing this shit down? I mean, so it doesn't seem like there's anything happening on the sideline in terms of dealing with people. Josh Allen on the offensive side, he's a king of the team, in the face of the team. And we got a couple of underling coaches kind of trying to talk to him a little bit while he's on the sideline. Then rather than there is no leadership on the sideline of this football team.
I agree.
I've been struggling with
that
for weeks.
I agree. I agree with that. Unfortunately, Josh isn't. I don't think it's not in him. I wish it was. I wish he was. Had that Peyton Manning, Tom Brady kind of leadership quality where he goes to the sideline and pumps up his team and tells them it's going to be okay after a turn, whatever. That's not in his DNA, unfortunately.
I
maybe
he used to be.
At times, but he's never been. I notice when things are bad, he kind of just goes into the tablet, right? Yeah, and it's just like I've seen. Look, I get when things we're going really bad. What can you do? But there comes a time when games are still close. You can't go diving into your tablet. You got to You got to let your boys know things are going to be all right. We got this on the next, on the next go. So, but that's just not in his DNA. Yeah, I don't know. And look, I don't know. I don't know if Brady has it. I'll tell you what. I went back and saw. I was looking back at our old coordinator Ken Dorsey's stats. Right, they weren't as bad as you guys think. I swear to you, I couldn't really believe the numbers. They weren't terrible. And I gotta say, if you're looking at Ken Dorsey's numbers compared to Brady, I mean, they're very similar, and we fired Ken Dorsey. So I wish I could pull it up, but I was like, damn, not terrible. Let me see here. Let me see if I can pull up the Ken Dorsey real quick. Ken Dorsey, Buffalo Bills offense stats, because you would be surprised that we weren't terrible. Let's see here. Let me see if I could find that. I'll have to look for it later. I had it pulled up somewhere, but either way, they weren't as bad. And you know what? That guy got into it, man. I think he had a lot of emotion going. He could have been on the sideline, but that's what made him a good quarterback coach. And that's why he's succeeding over in Dallas. He's their pass game coordinator over in Dallas right now, and he's having a good season over in Dallas. So as far as that goes, maybe not so much as OC, but his numbers weren't terrible, guy. They really weren't. I would say Ken Dorsey and Joe Brady both fall into the category of just not understanding their players' strengths and using them successfully on the field. Joe Brady, man, he just totally ruined. I feel that was a pretty decent wide receiver group. It wasn't that bad, guys. I'm be honest with you. I don't think they're great, but I think they could have been better. And I don't think he put them. I don't think he understood their skill set. He didn't use them well. The routes were terrible. He didn't use their player. He didn't use their strengths. Elijah Moore, I felt like just was not used properly. And I feel for the dude. I do, man. And he's going to watch. He's going to wind up getting picked up, guys. And he's going to wind up doing decent wherever he goes. But it is what it is. At this point, I guess why I was screaming for receivers, because I don't trust Joe Brady. I don't trust Joe Brady to work with what he has. So that's why I was all for trading for a receiver at the deadline. Not that I felt like Joe Brady was going to, magically get better, but I felt like a better receiver would have not needed the assistance of Joe Brady in order to be successful on the football field. So that's where we're standing. Guys, we have a ton of injuries, especially in this game. Deion Dawkins out, Spencer Brown out.
Yeah,
we have a lot
to get tomorrow, Tommy. Who are
it's going to be RVD taking over for Dawkins, and it's going to be and on the right, and then on the right side, it's going to be. I had it pulled up. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me 1 minute. I did have
one of it's Tylen Grable. They're throwing out.
It's Grable. Yeah, it's either Grable or God, I forgot the other. Grable or Lunt. Lunt. Either Grable or Lunt. So more than likely,
put Lunt out there in front of Grable. I don't.
Yeah, think. more than likely it's Grable. So, which is fine. So,
be interested to see it.
I am interested. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Tommy, score prediction. Jesus, we'll get to that later, but it's gonna be close. I don't think Pittsburgh's gonna rout us, and I don't think we're gonna rout Pittsburgh. So. I think people romanticize the idea of Allen screaming at our players too much. It's the same behavior people say they want came in the laws. We should be saying we wish he was calm and collective. There's a difference, all right? You could be calm and collective. I get that. Like Joe Burrow is like that. But there's a time and a place to get your sideline hyped up, to get your players motivated. Right, that's what they do. Right, I'm not. And
I don't want Josh doing that either. I don't. Josh doing. I want a coordinator doing it.
No, I get it. I get that. There. Well, listen, McDermott's not the guy, right? McDermott's going to clap, right? That's what he does. He does his clapping. Yeah, that's it. He's going to clap. We just don't have those kind. we don't have the coaches to do that. So
Tommy,
unfortunately,
I'll what better. I think McDermott actually keeps those guys down. I mean, it's why if you get a better progressive coordinator that is going outside of McDermott's iron fist around the thing, they're either dumbed down or they're out of there. And the coordinators we do have, like Brady, you were just talking about with these receivers that have come in. You look at what these receivers have each done, the guys that have been picked up in other parts of the league, and he's dumbing these guys down as they come in. And then, and then against Houston, he's running mesh all night with like 3.5 second, 3.5 second routes that Josh has got to wait for. I mean, wake up.
Yeah. Well, not only that, look, the offensive line's struggling in that game, right? Why don't you put in Alec Anderson there as an extra blocker, right? Like, I don't understand that either, right? You're getting him killed out there, right? Spencer Brown's like playing with basically no arms. By the way, love the dude. I'm glad he was trying to fight it out, but he needed to be pulled, right? Like, he was hurting the team more than he was helping the team at that point. He could barely move. But where was the extra help? Where was the extra blocker? That's another thing when it comes to Brady. He doesn't adjust well. He goes into a game with a game plan, and he doesn't adjust. And he just keeps going.
He did his presser, remember, last week, and he's talking about the fact, well, maybe we should have thought about, bringing up. I mean, dude, did it take you the whole game to figure this out?
Yeah. I listen, man, when it comes to Joe Brady, guys, I didn't care too much for him last year. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He came in, he had to get, the everybody eats thing that they kind of forced on everybody. Look, it worked out last year, but I also think teams' defenses started to know how to defend it, right? And that's why we went out and got Amari Cooper at some point last year. So, because we knew that the receivers were struggling at some point during the season, that defenses were playing man, and that we couldn't get separation. So we went out and got Cooper, and you see the offense got better. This year, they went and tried to make another trade for a receiver. It's like they didn't learn from last year, right? And I don't know why they had all the faith in the world that Brady could somehow, make it work again. And they didn't even go out and get anybody anyways, right? They got a bunch of C's and B's, right, receivers, and they thought that Brady can make them C's to B's and B's to A's, and it just didn't work that way. And here we are right now. We signed Brandon Cooks, by the way, who has – look, I like Brandon Cooks, I do, but boy, his numbers have declined year after year after year after year. I'm hoping he brings at least that veteran, leadership in the receiver room, and maybe just, can get separation. He's a slant guy. He loves to run slants and crossers. He's really good at those. He's not a deep threat anymore, even though he has the speed. It'll be interesting, but I think we're in desperation mode. Yeah. We're in desperation mode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the kind of pressure that Pittsburgh might be thinking they could bring tomorrow based on what they just saw a week ago last night. And then Cooks might be an answer because, I mean, you need quick slants. I mean, you need someplace to get the ball, especially if you got a linebacker vacating a spot coming in on a blitz. That's where you throw. But there was no guys available because my understanding is that Brady doesn't have any choice routes. I mean, stuff is not stemmed out where guys can, read the leverage and work with Josh. Okay, we know if we got leverage here, we're going there. And none of that's happening. And I think these guys are being dumbed down. Brady started his career with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, and never had to adjust. And he made his bones on that. And then he went to Carolina and didn't do much. And then he shows up here with Josh Allen, and it's good for a while. But guys, this is the NFL. It is not the NCAA or the SEC. I mean, guys, look at film. And the book is out on him. And Joe is way over his skis when it comes to any type of trying to adjust what he's doing to create what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, man, going back to Joe Brady when he was hired by Carolina, if you go back and read all the reasons why he was let go, was all the reasons why he's failing as an OC here in Buffalo. He doesn't know how to scheme receivers the right way. He's very vanilla at times. He's predictable at times. How many times you're going to run the same bubble screen to Khalil Shakir in the game? They know it's coming. Let's mix it up. Let's try something different. Why are you throwing everything, at the sticks? Why are you throwing everything before the sticks so many times? It's like all he has in his arsenal is those plays, and the defenses read them out. They sniff them out, and they're on us like white on rice. So I don't get why he doesn't adjust during the game. Listen, either he doesn't know how to, or he chooses not to. It's one or the other.
He's over his skis. I don't really think it's arrogance. It may have been arrogance at one point, but it's getting to the point now, and I would like to have been a fly in the wall with his conversations with McDermott, as much as McDermott said during his presser about how, this can't happen and this can't happen. We can't get Josh hit that much. You need to be able to have him get rid of the ball. That's entirely on Brady. Entirely,
yeah.
Because that's the change that's got to be made. And then, we get Josh sitting down on the bench at the end there going, what the fuck are we doing? And it's on tape.
which is crazy, Ralph. And this is now, I think, the third game that I've heard a defender or a coach say that what they saw on film is exactly what the Bills brought on offense, which is unbelievable. Like, dude, are they not? Is Brady not preparing for each game? You got to mix things up. You cannot show your cards week in, week out. He's showing the cards. He's not doing anything different. It's crazy to me how easy it is. Basically, to me, where I say, look, we didn't really have to do much. We knew what they were doing the whole game. We knew their sets. It's wild, man. That should never be the case, guys. And that just tells me that we got a problem with Brady. We got a problem with McDermott. We got a problem with Brady. We got a problem with Babich. The whole coaching staff, outside of maybe Cromer, has been just not good. I'll be honest with you.
That's a great question, because Cromer, for example. Now, Cromer, we know is a right-minded, aggressive kind of guy. So what was going on when Spencer Brown was coming off the field? Is he going over and say this guy can't go back in? Has he been dumbed down by McDermott where he won't say it? Or is he screaming it and McDermott ignoring him? And I have a question for you I want to ask you, though.
Go ahead.
More of an overhead 5,000-foot question.
All right.
On one hand, you can think of these Bills as struggling, but maybe a chance to peak. Think of the 2007 Giants, who in the 2008 Super Bowl, whatever that was. I mean, those Giants went through the playoffs completely on the road. They won that Ice Bowl game in Green Bay. Then they finally got to the undefeated Brady Patriots and beat them. And I'm wondering if the Bills somehow, I don't know, payment for the 4 Super Bowl losses, whatever you want to call it, have to go through hell as a number 7 seed, say, on the road throughout the playoffs to do this. And if we thought that was going to happen, that would be great, and we would take that. But the question I have for you is, would you rather see this regime go through that Giants kind of end of season and then postseason and win, or, because we know how things really are, would you rather see the Bills, win 2 or 3 more games and Pagula cleans the whole house?
I just want to win. It doesn't matter at this point. We haven't won a Super Bowl ever, so I'll take it how we can get it, to be honest with you. I get your point. I get where you're going. Because if the Bills win, it's really in despise of McDermott. You're right. It would be in despise of him. Allen would, it'd be really Allen putting his cape on. And that's a tough ask for Allen, because there's way too many holes on this team right now. I get what you're saying with the Giants. They went on a run twice, actually.
Yes.
In those years. But, I got to say their coach was, I'll say this about their coach. Their coach went into New York with this "I'm gonna do it my way" attitude. The players put him in check, which is publicly known. I think it was Strahan. Yeah, Coughlin and Strahan had a conversation with him, told him, "Bro, you got to change your way, bro. You're gonna lose this locker room pretty quick." And he changed his way, and he certainly did, and he wound up winning 2 Super Bowls with him. So I don't think McDermott is going to do that. I don't think any players are going to go to McDermott. Right? You know, yeah. Well, he had a way, and he was a good coach. He just was stuck in his ways as far as not changing a little bit as far as what he was, getting on everybody in the locker. So he had to change a little bit, right, as a coach, right, to understand the players, right, be a little bit of a player's coach as well, and that's one thing he was struggling with, and he learned how to deal with, and it got them to believe in their coach better. But that's just a whole different story, right? They had some talent on both sides. We right now, with the amount of injuries adding up, Ralph, and all this, man, it's just us, honestly, in desperation mode right now, picking players up off the street, pretty much. I mean, this is about as desperate as a Bills team as I've seen in years. So I just don't. That would be a fairy tale kind of, ending the season.
Well, sure, but I'm talking opposite end hypotheticals because.
But yeah, I get what your point is. But even if they lost, even if we missed the playoffs, Pegula's not firing either one, right? He's not letting go of McDermott. He's not letting go of Bean. I think it would take multiple seasons of not making the playoffs for that conversation to even, go to Terry. I feel like he's content in sticking with McDermott. He's pretty much he gave him the keys to the Bills pretty much, and I feel. He hired Brandon Beane, which is really odd. It usually doesn't work that way, but he did. I don't see it happening, bro. It's unfortunate. We're in year 9 with a defensive-minded head coach with a defense that still is just lost, and it's been lost for a long time. And you guys could blame Brandon Beane. And look, I'm not happy with Brandon Beane, by the way. I am pissed at Brandon Beane. Like, he's on my shit list. But I'm more, I'm pissed because look, and really honestly, there's a couple things. I think he gets a lot of heat for the draft picks that he's made throughout, the time he's here. I don't think they're as bad as you guys. I don't think they're as bad as many people say. I think he's missed some. I think he's made some mistakes, no doubt. But I also think he's made some good picks along the way, right? That's one. 2, free agents have been. That's where I feel like it's been kind of a little bit more missed than hit lately. Also, stepping outside his comfort zone, he's not really fond of. He doesn't do it often. I don't like that. And then this year, when he knew there was a problem in the wide receiver room, he lied about it in the offseason. Right? He told everybody we're good to go. Look, he got heated on radio about it. Then you go into the season and look, I'm okay with this route. Like look, if you believe it, it's your team. You put it together. If you feel that strongly about it, fine. But if shit's not going well, you also got to be real with yourself and go, hey, I fucked up. Maybe it's not. It's not going good. It's not going as planned. Okay, this is what they got the trade deadline for. I got to be aggressive. I got to go out and find. I got to correct this mistake. We all make mistakes. Everybody does. Nobody's perfect, but he had the opportunity to correct it. He made it last year.
You're talking about, right?
With Waddle. Yeah, absolutely. He had it in his hands. The oven was hot, right? The stove was hot, whatever. The stove was hot. The Dolphins were ready to move on, right? Hey, here we go. That's all we want. And Brandon Beane playing hardball fucked up. And then
I've got a slightly different take on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Beane has been pissed for a while that they let Josh Allen make their first pick of the 2024 draft by endorsing Keon Coleman. And as that's gone along and turned into the shit show that it is, I'm just wondering if Beane was like, I just drafted Max Hairston, who looks like he's going to be great. The injuries, I don't know, but I mean, he's played very well. I would like my 2026 first-round pick to do maybe the receiver I want and get him on a rookie contract, because I have to make up for letting Josh Allen essentially pick Keon Coleman. And I'm wondering if also it might also be in his head that look, we brought in Coleman, but we've had these other guys, and we've got an OC that's dumbing these guys down. And, I could picture it with Waddle coming in, and it's just not working because of Brady. So
yeah, but okay. So I hear that all the time with the Allen pick, Coleman, blah, blah, blah. Look, first of all, it wasn't like a top 10 pick. Second round goddamn pick. No. So Allen picked a second round. Wow. Like, guys, once again, it's not like he had his great choice of. He gave him, here's your choice, the end of round 1 receivers, and we could also give you Keon Coleman, who's a round 2. That's not like, guys, come on, man. If he passed up on Brian Thomas, I say, oh man, yeah, can't have that happen. But that wasn't the case. He gave him a short list of guys. He probably said, hey, yeah, I think he's my best fit. So don't go. I don't like that either, right? Like, that's not kind of a little bit unfair to say, like, oh, well, Now, look, either way, once again, though, you had your opportunity. And I get what you're saying, by the way, too. Like, if Waddle come here, would Brady know how to use him right? Anyways, however, here's my counter to that. Who gives a fuck? Because he's on the field with Allen. Brady more than likely is gone after this season. You got Allen and Waddle getting chemistry together at least this season, even if things didn't work out, right? But at least they're building early chemistry. And then going into the offseason, now you got your one. You don't even need to worry about the draft right? Nobody can say nothing. You got your one. You traded for him, right? And now you can start building, maybe get a number 2 in the draft, or, a speedster. Now you don't have to be worrying so much about that one. And now you go into 2026 with a new OC that can go, okay, all right, I got Waddle here. You know what I mean? Like, instead, what do you got going into 2026?
Well, I like that point in a certain way, because I think as this season progresses with what we're seeing with the offense, I think the stature of Brady is like ratcheting down quicker, which might influence what is actually going on behind the scenes for offense. And then, and then in terms of replacing these guys, I know you made the point earlier about the marriage to McDermott, and he's kind of the king of the franchise. It does not seem like he at all works for Bean. Obviously, it's the other way around. Mm-hmm. But if I'm Terry Pagula, I'm looking around the league, and I'm seeing Mike Vrabel, first-year head coach, 10-2. I'm seeing, Ben Johnson, first-year head coach, offensive, by the way, going out this afternoon and taking the Eagles apart at their place. And then, I even see, Brian Schottenheimer just knocks off both Super Bowl entrants from last season in 4 days of each other, which we talked about that the other day before the game, and now it's actually happening. Yeah. So I'm looking around the league and going, hey, this actually might be possible with a first-year coach. And furthermore, he's got to have seen the Josh Allen going through the hourglass meme. So,
but you see, you just said it, though. If it was you, right? Terry Pagula is not doing it. That's the difference, right? Like, I'm trying to Terry Pagula's not seeing it how rational people, like how you're seeing it, how Bill's Mafia is starting to see it. Even people that were on the McDermott train for a long time that were unwilling to let go or jump off and finally admit he's probably not the guy, right? Like, we need to move on. And look, and I'm not totally going to sit here and say McDermott's a total shit coach. He's a bum. Like, the guy is a good coach, but he's reached his ceiling. And I don't think he could. That's it. Like, just like players, they reach the ceiling. That's as good as you're going to get. This is McDermott, and I don't think he's going to get any better. He's not a Super Bowl caliber coach, in my opinion. I haven't seen
Moses. He got the Bills out of the desert but
Right.
brought him to the Jordan River, and he can't cross over the Jordan River.
Exactly.
Somebody
And,
else
you
has
know,
to do it.
Ralph, there's been occasions like this in every type of sports, baseball, basketball. It happens, guys. And that's why kept trying to tell people. It wasn't like I was just bashing the guy. And you know, I think a lot of fear of Bills Mafia was like, oh, who we're gonna get? God, great question. I have no idea. When that time comes, and hopefully it does, we'll worry about it then because I don't know who's available. So of course it's easy to say, who are we gonna get then? You name them. I don't know. Right? But let's say you fired him last year, Ben Johnson. There's one. I'm just throwing names out. Like, you don't know yet who's going to be available until you start the process, right? And then you have the whole time. Right. But guys, like, it's easier. For me, look, eventually you have to change, right? No matter what. I tell people all the time, like, same thing. Like, let's say you go to the same restaurant over and over and over because you're familiar with it. But the food is average, right? The food's average, but you're like nervous to try somewhere else because what if you go spend money? It's terrible. Like, you can't think, but what if you go there, a new place, and it's great? You got to eventually change. You have to. You can't keep doing the same routine over and over and over and expecting it to change, right? Going down the same fucking street with nails on it, you're going to get flats every time. You have to eventually take a detour. You got to, folks. And that's what I keep saying. It's year 9. Things are the same. So eventually there has to be new change. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Brian Dable, he's never going to come back as long as McDermott's in charge. They do not like each other. So,
I think that goes back to my point, Tommy, about the fact that I think McDermott keeps these guys down. He's chased both the defensive and offensive coordinators up into the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else does that in the entire league. Every other team at least has one of the two coordinators on the field. Often it's a D coordinator. Yeah. And Dable was animated, had attitude, and McDermott just wants to, like, keep it quiet. His story during Hard Knocks, talking about his coach coming in the high school locker room and throwing the chair through the window, and they went out and kicked ass and took names, but you can't do that every week because you can't repeat that. Why not? Why not, Sean? So I believe Pagula's got to be hearing this stuff.
He had maybe. I still don't feel like he's gonna make a change. I just don't. Not yet, you know. And
well, we're talking about based on what might happen.
I
I
just don't see it happening, man. I think it's gonna take a little bit for that to happen. But this year the Giants went on a run because they had a great pass rush. That too. That's what I'm saying. We don't have enough talent on this team right now for like a fairy tale kind of ending this season. I could be wrong. Listen, anything can happen. Teams get hot at the right time. You never know. And then I'm going to keep rooting for my team. We're going to keep rooting for the Buffalo Bills. The season ain't over, right? Like, I get you guys are down. I'm down. I'm pissed, right? We're talking about it now. We've been ranting for 40 minutes about, you know, how pissed off we are. But we still got games to go. And there's still a chance to make the playoffs. Now, what we do in the playoffs, we'll find out. But, yeah, it's not looking good, but we're still on the hunt, you know, which, by the way, that stupid fucking comment of our fucking head coach saying urgency is up. Every game is important. It's fun to be in the hunt. Sean McDermott, would you shut the fuck up? What do you mean it's fun to be in the hunt? We shouldn't even be in the hunt. We should be. About.
He seems spacier during the pressers too. Like he's really distracted or preoccupied by what's going on. I just love to know what the real story is.
Oh, dude, who knows? He's that's the most. Listen, we've won the East 5 straight years, right? We've been one of the best AFC teams, and now it's fun to be in the hunt. What? Like, dude, we should not be in this predicament. We should not be sitting here fighting for a playoff spot. This is wild to me. And you're saying it's fun, like it's crazy.
Aside from even the circumstances of the Bills, who the fuck says that?
You know who says that? Shitty teams who are in the hunt, who haven't been there before. That's who says that, right? Like, okay, fine, I'm with that, right? Like the Dolphins are technically still in the hunt. They should be saying that, not the fucking Buffalo Bills. It's a joke. It's a total joke. And I feel like players this season, I don't know what it is, but this season, Ralph, I got to say, like, even the players just don't seem right, bro. Allen doesn't seem right. Deion Dawkins is like nobody gives a shit. It seems like nobody really truly cares. It's like, it's odd, man. It really is weird. Like, Allen's demeanor, his everything has changed this year. It's almost like, not that they've given up, but they maybe don't believe what they have, right? Maybe they know the team is not that good. You know what I mean? And they're just kind of going, you know what I mean? Because it's weird because you got players like Elijah Moore, who just got released, by the way. You know he wasn't happy, right? And what was going on in the offense. He said it even. It's just odd. Keon Coleman and this thing with the coach, right? By the way, first time. Huh?
It's still going to sit now that they've got Cooks and they just signed
Look,
Dave to be active.
I think it's a mistake. If he sits, here's my opinion on that. And I'm not saying Coleman didn't deserve to be, inactive the first time. However, when you know your team's struggling, and look, I'm not saying Keon Coleman is this great offensive weapon. He's been not that great this year, for sure. But when you are in desperate need of just anyone to make any type of play out there for your quarterback, and have him inactive for another week against Houston, it made zero sense. For what? For Curtis Samuel, who's by the way now on IR, because he doesn't do anything either. I'd rather have my rookie out there or my second-year guy at least out there getting more reps with Josh Allen, unless your plan is to cut him after the season or trade him. But I would still like him out there. So it didn't make any sense. And if he does it again, to me, there's more to it. There has to be, right? There's no way you can make him inactive again.
I mean, part of it's got to be the fact that Gabe kind of gives you what Coleman was giving you.
He does, but now but still, you got a Palmer. You got Palmer's not really doing much. I just listen. At the end of the day, we need guys out there making plays. And I'm not saying Coleman's Mr. Playmaker, but dude, like, he's your second-year player. You need if their plan is to trade him, because you can't cut him. Like, for me, he has some value. You're gonna get something in return.
Contract, so that's cheap.
Well, I know, but you can't. Not about losing money. You want something in return. You just don't want to cut a set, right? So for me, you have to at least throw him out there. Let him. If that's your mission is to trade him, which I'm cool with. I don't care, whatever. But don't sit him the rest of the year for what? Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. We'll see what happens moving forward, but I don't feel like anybody else, to be honest with you, right now is way above him. Like, as far as playing, like what they've done, you know. Shakir is a slot. Here's the deal with Coleman. I feel like they've been misusing him as well. Like, I feel like it's a little bit frustrations being with him. I think it's immaturity as well, and I just think him and McDermott are clashing. And I think he's unhappy with the offense and how he's being used. He needs to be more mature about it and just do what the coaches ask, which I get. It's frustrating, but you got to go out there and do it, man. You got to give your 100. And I feel like sometimes he's young and he's immature and it got the best of him. And hopefully he learned from that. But, McDermott also has to let it go.
That's why I would keep him, because I think, and they actually might have been able to use him against Houston on quick slants that are like instant rather than this mesh crap that we're having to have develop all game. But my other problem, and this goes back to McDermott, there has to be discipline problems on teams across the league. I'm sure this isn't the only one. McDermott, what are you doing going public with this and telling everybody? Not only that, why can't you sit this guy down in your office and freeze him like with an Arctic stare of, get it together? or get out with that kind of impact and looking a man in the eye. And McDermott has to scold this guy and make a public display of his punishment in discipline. And to me, that's one of the biggest things I got the problem with McDermott, other than the classes.
Well, he does that all the time too, by the way. He throws other people under the bus, but he won't do it to
Diggs.
Mm-hmm. But he won't do it. He won't do it for his defense. He won't do it for him. If you notice, he shits on the offense way more than he talks about his defense. It's crazy to me. Look, Brady deserves to be talked about, but he's thrown him under the bus multiple times during pressers this year. You don't see him throwing his defense on the bus. Yeah, but once again, he doesn't do it. He doesn't hold himself accountable, right? He does it for everybody else. Yeah, which is wild. So, look, man, end of the day, let's see here. I'm sorry. Tommy, honestly, it's sad to see the talent of Josh go to waste. It is sad, and it's unfortunate because the way Josh plays ball, I don't think he's going to have a long period of time in the NFL as far as being in his prime, right? It's good. It's just the way it is. You see him already taking massive hits, right? The dude is playing hurt pretty much every game, right? That style of ball that he plays, it doesn't last very long in the NFL, right? So you need to figure this out while he's in his prime, right? You can't keep fucking around. And I truly feel like I don't get it, but I feel like they think Josh could just turn water into wine. And they just was like, hey, he's so goddamn good, we'll just give him whatever out there and he can make it work. And guys, it's a 53. You need everybody to do their job. You need talent around you. Look around the NFL. Every quarterback, for the most part, has talent around him, or at least has a one. He has somebody that he can rely on. You can't just blame Josh now and be like, oh, Josh should be better. Like, why? Why? Because he should make every average guy look great? Like, that's just not how it works, guys. And they're doing a disservice to him big time. And I don't get it. I don't understand why. It's like, okay, you talked about it earlier, Keon Coleman. It's like, wow, Josh got to pick the second round draft pick. And wow, thanks, Brand. Thanks, McDermott, for giving me a second round receiver. It's a joke. Like, that's a joke. The Stephon Diggs, I felt like, hey, that's what you do. That's what you do for your quarterback. You start surrounding him with talent, right? That was a great trade. Loved it. And that's what you should do. That's what Drake May's getting over in New England. You surround your young quarterback with talent, right?
But Drake May has Mike Vrabel to keep Diggs in line going forward. And we don't have that. We've got Sean McDermott, who is just kind of milquetoast. His whole approach that I see on the sideline, how he gives pressers, this making public displays of player discipline. I
get it. Keon isn't that bad. Like, look. I was actually on board with drafting Keon Coleman. I made a video that the Bills should draft Keon Coleman. However, you still need to have the right offensive coordinator in place to scheme things up, to find out what he does best, right? That's what you do. You have player strengths, you got weaknesses. They all have them, unless they're a number one. And number one, they don't really have many weaknesses, right? They're well-rounded. They can do pretty much everything. So it doesn't take a great OC to make a number one, right? Like, unbelievable. Now, Keon Coleman, he was a project player. He was a round two guy that needed help, right? You needed to figure out what was best suited for Keon Coleman to put him in the right spot to be productive on the football field. Joe Brady has yet to do that. We've been talking about it since year one that Keon Coleman should be put in the slot more often. He's a big body slot, and he's very rare. When he runs slants, he's one of the best. The guy's a big body receiver. He shadows the defender. I love it, but they barely ever do it, guys. Crossers, nah. So, once again, I'm not saying Keon Coleman's a one, guys. Yeah, but you got to understand his strengths, right? And they're just not. I feel that falls on Joe Brady 100%. So
it goes back to him making his bones, so to speak, with Joe Burrow and Chase and Jefferson at LSU. I mean, yeah, it's easy to do great when you've got cats like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easy for Joe Brady to do great with a cat like Josh Allen for a half a season, and then everybody eats, but then it starts catching up, and now the catching up has gone exponential, as you explained to us at the beginning of the show.
So the LSU thing is funny to me because I didn't really research Joe Brady as well as I should have. He wasn't even the OC there, right? He was the pass game coordinator, right? Yeah, so he never truly, guys, was ever in charge of offensive play calling until he got to where? Carolina, where what happened? He was terrible, right? I get their coach was terrible, but that doesn't mean he should be terrible. He could have been a good OC with a bad coach. He was terrible. And the things that they say, and guys, everything he did there, and I'm not going to go through it again, but everything, like there was an article, is like me writing an article right now on Joe Brady. The same things that we're complaining about Joe Brady were said about him in an article from 2021. Right? And I didn't even read this article until 2 weeks ago.
That, right? Yeah, right.
Yes, I tweeted that.
That was remarkable. I mean, people should
isn't that wild? I mean, like, so let me see if I still got to pull it up because it's crazy, guys. So let me see here. I'll pull it up, actually. So what they said about Brady was this. Let's see here if I could find it real quick. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So this is an article that was written by SI. It says, okay, want my true honest opinion on Brady. I think he's a good football coach. I really do. He's a bright offensive minded. He's a bright offensive mind, but he's very young. Sometimes young coaches that are extremely smart outsmart themselves. They play too much into analytics. They're super conservative and run a vanilla offense. There's nothing complex about Brady's scheme. It's very basic, which is why he struggled to have positive results in the league. You can't be predictable. You have to throw in a bunch of motions, double moves, RPOs, rub routes, and present the defense with some eye candy pre-snap. From what I could tell, 90% of the motions are just to expose if the motions are just to expose if the defense is in man or zone. There are very few motions into routes, blocks, or once again, eye candy. Getting the eyes on the defense to have their eyes in the wrong place could be the difference between a 2-yard and a 20-yard gain. That's one. And that, by the way, that's a different. Now here's a different article, and he simply put, the Panthers runs do not resemble their drop back game, which may dissecting post-snap plays easier for defenders. Brady's designs did not put the Panthers in enough advantageous situations either. Instead, he repeatedly asked receivers to win their respective matchup rather than scheming them open. These decisive tools like play action throws were a limited part of his offense as well. For example, quarterback Cam Newton used play action only 9 times over the past 2 weeks. So clearly, once again, you could see everything we talked about here. Predictable, vanilla type offense, not running a lot of pre-snap motions, getting the defense to, basically, right, have them looking a different way or getting them caught off guard. He doesn't do that much. And that is why we're sitting here, guys. This is why our offense is predictable. And
why is it really even in Buffalo? I mean, it's the Carolina pipeline. And I mean, fuck
it is
Carolina pipeline.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And by the way, guys, YouTube, I don't know if you noticed this, Ralph. They have changed the names now to your YouTube handles. So some of you guys, I don't recognize anymore because they're putting at blah, 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 blah. So you could be somebody I talked to a million times, but because your name's not here anymore, it's your handle. I don't know who, and I apologize. So some of you guys are the same, but some of you guys aren't. So I don't know if you noticed that, Ralph, but the names have all changed now.
Are those X comments as opposed to?
No, these are YouTube. So
X, can you?
No. So YouTube officially, I guess they changed it to their handle now. So it's no longer their name. So like there used to be a guy on here, Roy, he's just going by Roy or Roy Collins. Now it's at blah, 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 whatever their handle is. So it sucks, man. It sucks because I'm used to talking to some of these people. Like I know I've talked to him because I could tell by the thumbnail, and I have no idea what their name is anymore.
Right. I hear that.
You get what I'm saying?
I had my brother comment on a show the other week, but it had changed.
Yes. So
it's like, do I know you? It's like,
right. Yeah. So it kind of sucks, man. The 13 personnel on offense work well because defenses don't see it often, and then they went away from it. Yeah. You know what's funny? The 22 personnel worked out, and they went away from it. Now, mind you, Kincaid was hurt. We'll see when Kincaid gets back if that gets better, but still. I noticed that and was wondering what's going on. Yeah, it's weird, Sandra. So, see, Sandra King used to be Sandra, and now it's at Sandra_King15. Yeah, stupid YouTube. I have no idea why they're doing that. Roy's still here. Yeah, I know. Roy's a different name now. So, but yeah, man. So we did have an addition, by the way. We wound up cutting Elijah Moore. We picked up Brandon Cooks. What's your thoughts on Brandon Cooks?
Well, Cooks has the Super Bowl experience, to be sure, and that's a value, and it frankly fits into the same Amari Cooper sort of mold or role that we played last season in bringing in Cooper. So it's sort of the same with that. It might be something that they feel will help Josh Allen. There's got to be some type of real desperation going on inside the walls there, especially if you just take the exponent of what McDermott is saying in the presser, that this can't happen and so forth. And we know because he likes to talk about disciplining players in public. You sure as hell know something's going on when he makes public about that this or that can't happen. So that might be part of the change. But what do the numbers look like at wide receiver then? So you're going to have Shakir.
Yeah, so it's going to be, if I had to, so they put Samuel on IR. Right. So it's going to be, Gabe got called up to the 53, guys. If you don't know, now he's officially on the 53, which I was fine with. At this point, guys, I'll be honest with you. I don't give a fuck if they sign every goddamn wide receiver free agent until the rest of the season goes on. If that's what they got to do to figure shit out. Whatever spark we need, go find it. So hopefully it's good.
Shakir, Gabe, Palmer, Tyrell Shavers, and and who am I missing?
Brandon Cooks.
Cooks, duh.
Yeah. So this is Brandon Cooks. I thought this was a pretty good video. This is him just talking about his quarterbacks. These are clips of him going through, and I like it, man. The guy sounds very mature, a team guy. So I'll let this. It's only 55 seconds.
About it,
or a minute
just
55.
In case it comes up in practice again that day, you can get it fixed right then and there.
You've played with a lot of quarterbacks over the years. What are some of your tricks for developing that chemistry?
My thing is, throwing in the off season, with my quarterbacks, but at the same time, figuring out what they like and trying to mold my game to that. Because obviously the quarterbacks is making decisions. They got to be comfortable. So I got to figure out what my quarterback likes and make sure I do that. And then at the end of the day, put my signature on it as well.
Why do you take so much pride in setting the example of what to do away from the facility, from practice and all that?
Because for me, it's just a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, there's no turning it on and off. It's how I was raised. So it's important for me to be able to practice what I preach. So when I'm telling these guys I'm off as a living, like I always say, respect the game. It'll respect you back. I love it so much. You never know when your last day going to be. So really just give it your all on and off the field. Don't try to turn it on and off.
Does it matter if you guys are the similar size?
Not at all. At the end of the day, wide out plays, can you beat your guy in front of you? I think a lot of us can do that. So there's a lot of narrative. There's not a tall, there's not a big guy. but we all can separate, and so it doesn't matter the similarities that we got. We can all play in any space.
You guys are all just pulling off. Like,
Yeah.
it becomes easy to play.
I mean, yeah,
quarterback, right?
the whole contested catch, rating and all that is a little suspect to me because I'll look at that and be like, okay, are you getting gloved? And you having to make those tough catches. So our mindset is to be able to separate at a high level.
Brandon, who was the guy when you were young that mentored you?
I would say in my room, Marcus Colston, but just overall, Drew Brees. My first 3 years, I actually moved to Del Mar, right next door to him, just to be able to spend that time with him and learn his process.
So as you can see, he's a team guy. He's all about the
I
quarterback.
like it more than Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, and Cooper was a team guy too. I think this guy might have a little bit more in the tank.
Reserved. You know, Cooper. Cook's just projects a different sort of personality.
I'll tell you what I like about it, and I'll tell you the similarities, that I have in Cooper and Cooks, which could be a good thing. And I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, Cook's numbers weren't." Guys, it's not always about that, right? When we got Cooper here last year, he was respected around the league as a one. He was treated like a one no matter what, right? He still had juice in the tank. Defensive coordinator still had to respect Amari Cooper route running, his separation, his hands, everything, right? Cooper still could play ball. So when defenses lined up against the Buffalo Bills offense, when we got Cooper here, they had to play us differently, knowing that we had a one. Regardless of what, if his numbers were different or not, they still treated him, respected him as a one. Brandon Cooks, even though his numbers have been dipping, I get that, folks, but he's still going to be treated as a one when he comes on this team. Defensive coordinators are going to have to respect his game, what happens? That helps everybody else out. If you go back to last year, Amari Cooper, first game, Keon Coleman had his best game of the season. Best game right away. Boom. Just like that. Why? Because defenses were honing in on Amari Cooper. Right, yeah. Which that's how it works, guys. So it's not all about like, oh, Cooper was only on the field. Guys, I don't care about that. I care about results, right? I don't believe in coincidences, right? Like, so if Cooks comes here and does the same thing and our offense gets better like it did last year, I'm going to say the same shit in the offseason. You see? That's why you need a one, right? So that's all we're going to hope for at this point, because we were in the same boat last year when we traded for Cooper. Offense struggling, wide receivers not getting separation. When Cooper came here, everything went up. Josh Allen's yard per throw went up. Points went up. Everything went up. Passing games numbers went up. Points per game went. Yes. So if we can get even, I mean, half of what Cooper was at his best, I'll take it. Honestly, guys, at this point, we just got to take what we can get. And, there was no superstar receiver out there. There was one, and Brandon Beane dropped the ball. Had the opportunity, and he dropped the ball. This is the best you're going to get, in my opinion, right now, that's out there floating around. So, if it wasn't us, he was going to get signed somewhere else. I promise you. So, we'll see what happens with Brandon Cooks this season for the rest of the way, but I'm not hating it. I'm really not. I think this helps Allen out big time. He is a guy that has been around, seen many, many defenses, has had success in the NFL. He's approaching 10,000 yards, actually, on his career. So I think Allen needs that guy. Allen needs a guy he can trust.
It's going to help Allen.
Yeah.
Not only just on the field technically, but also just in terms of maybe Allen's head a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just a guy a guy that he knows he could trust, a guy that's been in the league a long time. And you know what? And that's why I didn't hate the Gabe Davis call up either, because at least him and Gabe have chemistry together. They've had some, pretty good seasons. They've had really good games together. Gabe's not Gabe of old. We get that. And Gabe was never great, but Gabe was pretty decent. I'm not going to lie.
Crafty,
Gabe was not a bad. Yeah. So, guys, we're at where we're at, right? There is
what
no.
Josh Allen needs, if you could put it into one sentence in the passing game, what Josh Allen needs is the ability to make layups on any given play. He doesn't have any layups. He doesn't have like just the sure flick it. I mean, who did he have that with? Cole Beasley. I mean, hell, they
Well,
even had
Cole-
that going with
yeah.
Jamison Crowder before Crowder got hurt before Beasley.
What was great
And-
about that team, and you're right, Ralph, what was great about that squad, Cole Beasley was the security blanket, right? When things broke down, Cole's the guy, right? When we needed a big play to be made, who was the guy? Stephon Diggs, right? When we needed the 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, whatever it was, who's he going to? Who's his go-to, right? Dable's not dumb. He's not going to Dawson Knox. He's going to, more than likely, Stephon Diggs. He's your playmaker. We don't have that anymore, right? We don't have the security blanket. I thought it was going to be Shakir, and maybe it still can be, but this year he's regressed a little bit. Maybe that's because of the ankle injury that he suffered earlier on in camp, and he just hasn't still found his way. I don't know.
Oh, that's part of it, but he's still not a number one. And I think
no, he's not a one. I mean, a
about
security
the number
blanket.
One, there's almost like a natural vacancy on a team when it's not there. It's almost like it has to be occupied because it changes so many things, as you just explained, with the options that are created with just the addition of one man that has those capabilities, especially with working with Josh Allen, which is why, you know, I'd have just thrown the dice if I was being on Waddle, because here we are, just do it like Nike. But he's more concerned about hanging on to that first round pick, especially because he's so worried about the fact that they used their top pick in the draft, which is not far from, 33 wasn't that far from 29 or 28 anyway. So if that's what you're going to be, that was their top pick they took. I mean, shit, they could have took Torrey Horton and done really well with that. So I think Keon might be all right, but there's a problem with the whole thing because some of the selections just don't make sense, and then some of the decisions just don't make sense. Like, why not throw the dice on Waddle and just go for it this year? There has to be something more to the story with that. Right.
No, I think this. I think there's just look. At the end of the day, man, we are who we are at this point. We got a ton of injuries on the team. We got coaches that are just not doing it for us. They're not making the players better that they have on the team currently. And all we could do is really kind of hope that everything works out here this season. Now, going into off season, we'll see. We're not there yet, and I won't get into that yet. But right now, I'll tell you this. I hope this is a big fucking lesson learned by Brandon Beane, especially Brandon Beane. You cannot go into this offseason with the same mindset. You can't. You cannot. You got to be more hard on yourself and be realistic and say this was a failure. The everybody eats was bullshit, okay? I felt like they threw that in our face as a marketing kind of thing to make Bills Mafia forget about the Diggs thing, to forget about the money the dead cap we were eating from the Diggs from cutting Diggs.
Biggest in history for the franchise.
Or trading Diggs, sorry. Yeah. So it was all bullshit. Like, it was all just for us to ignore what really happened. And that's fine. Look, I'll be honest with you. If you don't want to play, if you don't want to be here, I don't want you on the team. I'm with that. But you got to have a replacement. Then you got to follow up, right? You got to go out there. You can't just be like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and trade him because, it's not working out. Okay, I'm cool. But you need to find his replacement.
But why didn't you want to be on the team? I think it's
13
seconds. It's McDermott in general, and and McDermott runs Bean, and I don't know. If you want to keep McDermott as your DC and hire an offensive,
that would never
head
happen,
coach,
bro.
he'd never do it. But
no, he'd never do it.
I mean,
and I wouldn't want him. I think his scheme is old and washed up, and I don't like it. Honestly,
the tiny linebackers that are
the tiny linebackers,
sideline to sideline and get run over in our gaps
and get trucked and get injured. And by the way, guys, I know you complain about Bean, but it's the coach's decision on players that he wants re-signed. This is not a Bean thing. He reports back to Bean and says, "I want Milano re-signed. I want him here. I want Bernard re-signed. I want Benford re-signed." Right? These are not Bean going. He's not going to McDermott and be like, "Hey, I don't. You know what? I know you like the guy. but I'm going to get rid of him. Like, that's not how it works, guys. So McDermott, this is McDermott's players. This is his scheme. This is the kind of players he wants in his scheme. Yeah, it's McDermott's team. So,
and he's ultimately responsible. And if this guy is running stuff and making public displays of disciplining players and throwing his offense under the bus, standing at the podium, there's trouble in paradise for certain.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. I wish he would go rogue and just start drafting players that he feels best suits the team. But once again, if they're not going to use them correctly, what players do fit this team? I have no idea anymore. I really don't. We'll find out.
We know about the resistance to use rookies and play rookies that's endemic to this team. And that's gone on for a long time where and you can't help but look at other clubs and it's like, well, look at that rookie. It's the running back who was picked, I don't know what the hell it was, for Chicago, who they ran all over Philadelphia today. I think they were at 200 rushing yards like early in the third quarter. And just Mangami or whatever his name is was outstanding. Late draft pick. We find rookies playing and being successful in this league. And where are the Bills? Max was hurt all season. All right, he showed something. Where are they? I mean, Deion Walker, who's great, is going to be a game wrecker, your fourth rounder. I mean, Landon Jackson injured again.
Landon Jackson. He's his third ACL.
Is TJ like shrunken now that Deion has proved to be, the better?
It seems like he's regressed as well. I mean, I once again, we needed a true one tech. They went three tech. There's nowhere else to be blamed but to McDermott. This is what McDermott wanted, and this is what he got. I still think TJ Sanders could be good in the league, but he's definitely he's regressed a little bit. He needs time. I think he's another guy needs time. So I did find it. So this is the 2022 Buffalo Bills offense under Ken Dorsey, right? And I know it got a lot of heat, but here we go, right? 2022 points per game, second in the NFL. Yards per game, second in the NFL. First down, second in the NFL. Third down conversion rate, first in the NFL. Yards per play, second in the NFL. Yards per drive, second in the NFL. Points per drive, second in the NFL. Josh Allen, 4,283 passing yards, seventh in the NFL. Passing touchdowns, second in the NFL. Are you guys seeing where I'm going with this? Do you guys get the clue? Yeah. I mean, guys, you want to shit on him, and I'm not saying he was the greatest, but those stats tell you everything you need to know about, one, having Stephon Diggs, a quality receiver, right? And having other guys around him, say what you want about Gabe, but he was part of this, that made plays, right? That was a good offense. Even in, now this is 2022, now 2023, when he got fired, right? Here's his 2023 stats. Total yards, fourth in the NFL. Yards per play, second in the NFL. Passing yards, eighth. Passing yards per attempt, sixth. Ninth in rushing, tied for second in rushing yards. That was his 10 games that he was our offensive coordinator. That is not terrible, guys. I'm going to tell you right now.
Why was it even off just a little bit from where it was? Could it possibly been because McDermott wanted to bank sleep and flew the team to London 48 hours or something before the ball game. And
I forgot about that too.
Milano ends up with a tibial plateau fracture, screws up the defense. It was that or the next week that Trey White hurt his knee, and that hammered the defense and a lot from that game, the way it was handled, and the defense gets worse. Offense is put under different pressure. And I mean, your point's made on Dorsey.
Yeah, points per game, sixth. Third down conversion, first in the NFL. First downs, third. I mean, these aren't 10 guys, and this is the year he was fired. Right? Yeah. So once again, you guys could, and that's the funny thing. When we got Brady in that year, everyone's like, "Oh, Brady, the guru. He's the guru." Guys, what he did in 2024 was pretty much the same what Ken Dorsey did in 2022, right? Like we had a top 5 offense there. We probably were better in 2022 actually than last year's offense, and we still had to make a trade in 2024 for Amari Cooper. We didn't have to make a trade in 2022. We were just a really good offense in 2022. But that's what you got to do. You got to surround Allen with guys that are competent, the guys that can get separation, right? You got to have a coordinator that understands his players' strengths, right? Say what you want, once again, about Ken Dorsey, but at least he knew how to run an offense there in 2022 and in 2023 before he got fired. I don't think he's a great OC. I think eventually he gets another opportunity. But
Dorsey had some NFL success.
But he's had not. Correct. So here's the deal with Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey was a former quarterback, right, of the Miami Hurricanes, one of the best college teams ever that year, right? And then he went to become a quarterback coach for Carolina and got Cam Newton MVP that year. Like, he was great quarterback coach. He was a great quarterback coach here while he was here for Josh Allen. I feel like he was a big help with Josh Allen. I just don't. The only thing I would say that I would knock him as far as being OC was, once he kind of lost his ways a little bit there in 2023, and I also feel like McDermott wanted him to do this 12 personnel thing when they drafted Kincaid, and I don't feel like Ken Dorsey ever really truly adapted to it. And I kind of feel like he kind of forced Brady a little bit to do this kind of style play that he wants. And I don't know if even Brady is necessarily good at what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like what McDermott wants him to do. So maybe he's outside his comfort zone. I don't know. Exactly.
That's interesting because this goes back to the same point about McDermott almost seeming to have, the friction with the coordinators. It wasn't good with even Rick Dennison to start out with in that first season.
Fired him right away.
And then you get Daboll, and Dave's was good, and it helped the Bills start to get really good. And it's like McDermott is, okay, I'll grin and bear it because we're doing well. But McDermott cannot stand, I believe, to have coordinators who have a stronger personality than McDermott. But McDermott looks to me like somebody's quiet fucking uncle sitting over the corner on Thanksgiving Day rather than first, the head coach of an NFL team. And if he cannot handle personalities such as Dorsey, for who example is famous for the vid of him in the booth at Miami in the oven game, right?
Which the players love, by the way.
At least he showed
they all loved it.
And he was on,
right.
But no, now we get Bobby Babich, who has been, beaten into this little corner of the booth, who we don't even know what he does. Yeah. And then Joe Brady is this, smarmy professor, like cooler than school sort of, press conferences. And I mean, there's no attitude on the sideline because I think McDermott has to be able to step on people in order to feel like he's in control. And it's fine if your head coach wants to feel like that, but you've got to set your own example. McDermott doesn't talk to players on the sideline. No. I see Andy Reid, D'Amico Ryans, Brian Schottenheimer, Aaron Glenn talking to his players, communicating with people. McDermott is just walking around like this with a thing in front of his fucking face. And sometimes it
irks me too. He should have been, my thing was, man, I think he should have been fired after 13 seconds. Yeah. I think that right there was when you needed to that was totally on coaching, that loss. I'm gonna put that totally on coaching. McDermott meddled in the offense, but he never changed the defense. Yeah, see, and that's another thing. Stay in your fucking lane as well, McDermott. You know nothing about offense. I know, I get what you want. You want this old school, long drives, run the ball, be the run first team. But it's not working. That's not how this offense. That's not how Josh Allen.
It's like a long running show in Las Vegas, and it was the Hyde and Boyer show. Come into the theater, tickets available. The Hyde and Poyer show is gone. Poyer's been a great.
It's
I'm
been
glad
gone.
he's here. He's been a great mentor for Cole Bishop. That's a beautiful thing. And Cole Bishop is another, turning out to be a really good looking pick. And so, I don't know, the whole thought of people being able to stand up and it's like the sideline is kept down under.
No, I agree.
Low simmer. And
to me, man, you got to let the offense go. I think you got to let the offense go. You got to go away from that whole, trying to keep your defense on the sideline for a long time, have these long extended drives with the offense. Kill that noise. Your defense is what it is. It's going to give up points, okay? For me, I want this offense going up tempo. I want this offense scoring fast and a lot of points. That's the only way this team's going to have a chance.
Yes.
Look, if his defense was any good, fine. You could run that bullshit offense. You know what I mean? If we had a defense we could go, okay, you know what? We killed 9 minutes and we only got 3 points, or we got no points. But at least our defense is going to come on the field, do their thing, and we're going to get the ball right back. But that's not the case. So what happens is we score 3 or nothing. They get the ball, they score a touchdown, we're down. And we're not good from playing down. The defense is not built that way. And that's why we keep finding ourselves in these holes. And like you said earlier, yeah, okay, the defense doing better in the second half, but it's too late. It's too late because our offense is already behind, right? And our defense still isn't good enough to hold. So,
or McDermott's way over his freaking skis for the first half of
Yeah.
the ball game, and the offense isn't performing. It doesn't really manage to get to, hey, what the hell are you doing with this or that? But the defense is his, though, is the problem.
He didn't even like the Tampa game. We scored 44 points in that game. Was it 44-32? And he said he doesn't prefer that. He doesn't necessarily like that type of. Well, McDermott, I'm fucking sorry. Too fucking bad. Because you know what? I'll take that score all day, every day, over us losing and only putting up 12 offensive points. Give me 40 and let your defense give up 30 fucking 2. I'll take it all day. And I'll just say, you know what? Yeah, our defense fucking sucks ass, but at least our offense scored 40. You know what I mean? At least we won.
McDermott's defense relied upon Hyde and Poyer because they could cap and read really well, and then really had, they could plug gaps, gap integrity if they had to be in a spot, and were just very smart and quickly reactive to the kind of zone match that McDermott likes to run. And that show is moved out of town, and he's trying to maybe get it going again. But it's got to be a different mindset when you've got Josh Allen as your quarterback.
No, you have to.
Now.
And our run defense is terrible. Like it's the worst I've ever seen. Our tackling is horrendous.
The tackling
it's horrendous. So once again, guys, I don't trust this defense. I do not. I don't care about it anymore. I talk about it every offseason, what they should do. They'd never do it. We all said they needed a true one tech, right? Somebody to fill that lane up, be that big guy to actually stop the run, right? To close that lane. And nope, they went out and got a 3 tech because that's what they do. He wants speed. How's that speed working out? It's doing terrible.
This is Ryan Nielsen's whole thing, and they hired Ryan Nielsen. I mean, hell, a week and a day before the Super Bowl, even after that 32-29 loss to the Chiefs, and that was all part of a thing. The Ryan Nielsen with his, basically it's a single gap thing. He even prefers 3 techs in the middle. They're supposed to attack. And I actually think that, we talk about the problem with not having a one on the offense in terms of the receiver core. The loss of Ed Oliver and almost moreover Michael Hoyt.
Oh, Hoyt's the biggest loss. I think it's bigger than Ed Oliver.
Yeah, that's a lot of it, because that was Ryan Nielsen trying to get that going, who's really basically working with the defensive line. And then, McDermott, again, I don't even see Nielsen getting on people. It's like, I hope McDermott's not keeping people down, and especially the offense, as you said.
He is. You guys remember a name, Chad Hall, wide receiver coach for the Buffalo Bills, that they all loved. They bought him a truck. They loved this dude in Buffalo. This guy left to go to Jacksonville to take the same job, wide receiver coach. He didn't get promoted. He took the same gig. He wanted out of Buffalo. Why? Why is that? Right? He didn't want to be under McDermott anymore.
Yeah.
Right? He was tired of being under McDermott. The Leslie Frazier thing is bullshit. We all know the deal with that. Right? Him and Brian Dable didn't get along. We all know that's everybody knows that. Right?
Yeah.
Joe Brady and him, trust me, guys, they aren't getting along. I promise you that. Right? You got press conferences where McDermott's calling Joe Brady his play calling cute, and then Joe Brady comes on right after, and a reporter asks, "Hey, McDermott said you're running cute plays or whatever." He's like, he was shocked. He was like, "Oh, what?"
Did he was like, "Oh, I didn't hear that."
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Yeah, you didn't hear it. Now you heard it now. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it's
unbelievable.
It's crazy. And Bobby Babich is the next to go, which nobody cares because Bobby Babich, like, look, at the end of the day, Babich is not going to get hired by anyone. Like, the only thing good Brady got going on is he has a little bit of, recognition in his name. We're from LSU and here from last year when he did. So he'll get some gig, but I don't think Babich gets another DC job. I think he winds up being a position coach after he gets canned here because I don't think clearly, look, if your coach is already taking over play calling, you're not going to be the guy next year. I promise you. So McDermott is only good as a secondary coach. He's done a good job with them, but man, even the linebackers, like we can't. I can't. I'm just once again, I can't do with the defense anymore, guys. This team's only going to go as far as Josh Allen's going to take it. Plain and simple. That's it. The defense is trash this year. Morgan Fox is an interesting one. I'll say that, but I don't know if he's going to be the true answer. But I think he'll help. The problem with him is, well, not problem, but he runs. He could play DE and DT, but Hoyt could play all three positions. That's what made Hoyt, linebacker, DE, DT. That's what made Hoyt
replacement,
special.
though, in a sense. So
yeah, a little bit.
I would be interested to see what happens with that, and I think because they put Samuel on IR, they were still just 52 anyway. I don't know if they went to 53 with the Gabe signing because of, but
I'm not sure. I haven't heard much
to
I haven't
elevate
heard about
Fox.
They're going to have to eventually.
Yeah.
They signed him for a reason. They're 53. To the practice squad. They're so depleted right now on the line. More than likely, what will probably happen is he'll get a call up, and then they'll probably play it.
Yeah, get an elevation. And,
get him elevated and kind of get his feet wet back into playing shape or whatever, and go from there. But I look at this point once again, we're in kind of desperation mode, Phil. Everybody, I mean, this is that's where we're at, which is sad. It really is sad, but we are in desperation mode, and that's why you see the Buffalo Bills picking up Brandon Cooks. And it's not a shot on Brandon Cooks. I think he could actually help this offense, but yeah, we're to the point where Brandon Cooks is going to be our one, more than likely.
When so many of these activities seem, that occur, they're like obvious band-aids for something previous, and that just puts a, ridiculous spin on it to start. The Brandon Cooks thing, it's like the repeat of the Amari Cooper show. Although I do think Brandon Cooks will actually make a difference because I think he's got a large enough personality, it appears to me, to be able to walk into this and not be able to deal with whatever sort of sensory thing is going on there right now with how Brady is running it, with Josh being obviously disgruntled in some respect. Based on his reaction on the sideline. Although, did you see his when he was speaking after the Wyoming jersey retirement, and he was talking to a group of ball players, and he said he loves the game, loves the feeling, and this was the day after the loss to Houston, and and even that loss last night, he just loves that feeling. It hurts, but loves it because really losing is the base emotion of what football is all about. Everybody does it except for one at the end, but I still think he's got the fire, and hopefully he's excited enough about Cooks that we could get something going, because this is it's going to be interesting. I mean,
we're gonna be fine. We have Shaq Lawson. Yeah. Everything is great. Nothing to see here, folks. Shaq Lawson. Yeah, that's another guy I forgot to mention. Thank you, Walter, for reminding me that Shaq Lawson is back in Buffalo. I don't honestly, guys. I'll be honest. I don't hate it. He's on the practice squad. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I get your point. It's one of these. Once again, we're just
trying to put the band back together again.
Yeah, we're fishing here, and we're just grabbing whatever we can get. Shaq is back. Former first-round pick, Rex Ryan, I believe, from Clemson. His defense is trash every year. Yeah, the defense it's regressed every single year.
Doesn't exist, I mean,
it does not exist. We do not get home. Joey Bosa stuck on 4 sacks forever. Seems like forever ago. I think it was the Chiefs game was the last game he got a sack. We don't get home. We put pressure, but it doesn't. If you put pressure and you don't get home, then it really doesn't mean too much. And it seems like we're putting pressure and they're still making plays on us, which even makes it worse. So yeah, that's a problem too. And then obviously I feel like players have regressed this year. I think like Christian Benford's kind of regressed a little bit. I don't think he's playing terrible, but he's regressed. Teron Johnson has regressed this year, which is crazy because he's really played well, really good actually for a lot of years now, and he's having a rough season.
Yes, he is.
I feel like Khalil Shakir's regressed this year. Obviously I'm going to put Oliver there because he got hurt. So I guess he's not regressed. He's just hurt, which sucks. Who else has regressed? God, who else? Taylor Rapp. He's not even... He's on the IR, right? But he's regressed even before that, right? Terrell Bernard's regressed, and he can't stay healthy either. Matt Milano's he's gone anyways, but he's not really what he was. No. We all know this. So we just don't have... Guys, we don't have enough guys that have stepped up this year either. That's a problem too, right? We have all these guys that we re-signed or we gave extensions to. Gregory Rousseau, I love him. He's from the U. He's playing okay, but for his contract, he needs to be... You got to give me a little bit more, bud. Like, you got to give me a little more.
It's got to be a terror.
Got to be a terror, and he's young. There's no excuse. Now, I'll say this. Is he in the wrong scheme, right? Is he not being used the right way? It's a possibility. Once again, we don't know until these players leave. You got guys like Tim Settle, who was here, and I was like dogging him.
What is up with that, right?
And all of a sudden, Poona Ford leaves here, and he couldn't even get a jersey on game day. And he's tearing it up, right? He's playing much better. So, but then you do guys like Kyrie Irving who just got cut. So, there is certain guys that they're just not good. And there's certain guys that leave here that wind up being pretty damn good. So, yeah, we've had a lot of guys regress too. And I feel like, when we talk about the cap, right? And kind of the cap hell we're kind of in right now, right? We don't have a lot of money. Guys, a lot of guys are just not living up to their contracts. It is what it is. I mean, that's we're signing our guys that we drafted, right? We're doing the right thing, right? That's what you want. Your homegrown guys, right? Your guys you drafted, right? You want to bring them back. You want to show them love for, being productive. But these guys just are not living up to their contracts. The only ones that are Josh Allen, James Cook. I would say Spencer Brown too. Spencer Brown's lifted up his contract. God, who else? Even our kicker. Even our kicker hasn't.
Yeah, Bass. We're not going to see Bass the rest of the season.
No, and he regressed anyways. I mean, we've had some. Yeah, so that also is a reason why I feel like this team is also just kind of when we run it back. It's fine, I guess, but if you're also avoiding guys that you could potentially sign that could help this team because you keep running it back and extending these guys, that might hurt your team too, right? And I feel like there was players out there to be signed. He took a flyer on Von Miller. By the way, guys, I don't even blame him for that one. Von Miller was having a great season that year. He got hurt. Yes. It is what it is. I mean, I don't kill Brandon. This is what I'm saying. So, I don't kill Brandon Beane on that. Like, I like that. I like the fact that he stepped out of his comfort zone. Even though he said in that offseason, remember, Ralph, he said, I'm not going to spend any money. Like, we don't have a lot of money. Don't expect anything big. And he went out and got Von Miller. And I felt like, you know what? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to step outside your comfort zone. Even if it backfires, I'm not going to kill you on it.
No,
I'm going to go.
They went to SoFi, and Von was like a menace.
Yeah. He had 8 sacks all the way up to the Lions game. Thanksgiving, he got hurt. So, yeah. So
I was at that game. It sucked.
It is what it is, guys. So,
Yep.
But my point with him, that's why, like, he doesn't take enough of those chances. And you got to, as a GM, you need to step outside your comfort zone once in a while and swing. You got to take some swings. And here's the problem, too, I'm seeing, Ralph. We had, not only was our window open, and I still think it is, but we had a sliding glass door open for the longest time in the AFC. It was us, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. The AFC East was garbage outside of us.
Yeah.
The rest of the AFC was all in rebuild mode. All of them. Now look. It ain't that fucking sliding glass door is closed. Now our windows slightly starting to close because you got Colts, the Patriots. You got all these teams that were still trying to figure shit out while we were trying to beat the Chiefs, and we could not beat, right? We were fucking around. And now, guess what? The fucking Patriots are going to win the division because we are fucking around, not getting Allen talent, not helping Allen out, not getting him his replacement for Diggs, right? Believing in this bullshit of everybody eats, which is garbage, right? And this is where you get. This is where we're at, folks. So,
and people have to understand that look, if you really want to know what the core of this is about, it's always about the leader. And the leader of this football team is Sean McDermott. And Sean McDermott, I think, controls the personality, the attitude, how much there's said or done on the sideline, how, animated people get, the kind of choices people can make. And I just you see his fingerprints on everything. And it
on everything.
Again, it's all week. It's like your Uncle Joe that sits over in the corner at Thanksgiving, just come on, dude, like have some life or whatever. But this
season, I gotta say too, like we just cannot. We win one, we lose. Like we're just not consistent either. We won the first 4, loss, win, loss, win, loss. I mean, we can't. We're just not a consistent football team. Look at this: loss, win, loss, win, loss. You got Pitt. So here's the games coming up. You got Pittsburgh. It's who knows? I don't know. Cincinnati at home. Cincinnati's, guess what? Burrow's back. They looked sharp the other day.
We all saw that last night.
Even their sorry ass defense, Ralph stepped up and played well.
Yes.
Better. By the way, better than our defense against the Ravens. Better than ours in Baltimore, by the way. And Cincinnati has a terrible defense, and they did better than us. And they got a better offense by far. So that's not a given. You got at New England, who is as riding high right now, confidence soaring. You got Cleveland on the road. You're going to Cleveland. Probably it's going to be terrible weather. Perfect for Cleveland. They're going to love it.
Sanders, getting on his run.
And they're defense. They're backing them. Their defense. Myles Garrett's probably going to have a sack record on us that game. You got Philadelphia, who knows? We'll see. But their defense is solid. And then you play the Jets last game. So, look, the only game there, honestly, is winnable is the Jets. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, all these games are toss-ups.
Philadelphia, they were a title
Maybe. I don't. You might be right. Maybe. Isn't that crazy to say? But, I mean, I have us. So, here's the rest of the way I have us. And you can tell me what you have. I think we'll beat Pittsburgh. I do. I think we'll beat Pittsburgh. I think, God, I have a feeling we're going to lose to Cincinnati, bro. I think we lose to Cincinnati at home because our fucking defense is just so bad. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but we may lose that game. So I'm going to count that as an L. I think we lose against New England. I think we beat Cleveland, even though it's going to be tough. I think we lose against Philly. And I think we beat the Jets. So if that holds true,
2 and 4
we win We win our 8th here.
9 and 8.
We win our 9th and our 10th right here. So we'll be 10
you got us
and 7. Yeah.
Oh, you had
we
the
could win
Pittsburgh
11.
one. Sorry, yeah.
I got the Pittsburgh win. I got us losing Cincy, losing the Patriots, win against Cleveland, loss against Philly, and win against the Jets. But if we beat Cincinnati at home, then we'll have the 11th. So I have us either at 10 or 11. I'll go 10. I'll play the lower number there. What do you got there?
Well, it's not so. I'm not really predicting as much as just.
Just if you were to.
Where. But if I had to go down, there. I think Pittsburgh is a win again because they're coming off the loss and they've done it 2 in a row already this season. But I think there's more desperation right now, and there are some questions even with Aaron Rodgers as far as. He's broke his wrist 2 weeks ago on the right side. That's got to make some sort of difference for him.
You would think, right? You would think.
Cincinnati, I worry about because Cincinnati, Burrow has sort of had McDermott's number.
Yes.
Actually, I think it's, and I think they actually could lose to New England, but then I would have them winning 3 in a row, going out, and then sitting in the locker room at the Ralph after the Jets game, hoping and praying for something to happen elsewhere in the league that gets them in.
Okay. Show you something else here. It's kind of wild. So here is the standings as we sit today, right? Here's the standings. Here's the playoffs picture. What's crazy, and I don't think the Dolphins will get in. I don't, but they're not far behind, right? They're at the 11th spot, right? So here, you could potentially see a 9-win team get in the playoffs. You might see this year because there's a lot of underachieving teams. So if you look past Buffalo, right, or even start with the Chargers, 7-4, 7-4, 7-4. Houston 6-5. Kansas City 6-6. Baltimore 6-6. Miami 4-7. The Bengals could still make the playoffs. They're 4-8. Like, there's a possibility that 9 could get you in. If you remember last year, Cincinnati, it came down to the Denver game.
Right.
And I think they had 9 wins as well, right? Cincinnati finished with 9, but if Denver lost that game, they get in, I believe. So it ain't. I'm going to tell you right now, man, if Buffalo loses here, that shakes up everything. Everything.
Because at this point, there's got to be some sort of momentum established to kind of get this done where you really need to go 4-2 out to get in. And where can you find those 4?
I mean, looking at like the rest, like the Chiefs, right? They got Houston.
Chiefs have to win out pretty much.
Yeah, and they don't have an easy schedule. They got Houston, who we just played them. We know, and so that's a very tough defense. They got the Chargers, who they lost to in the beginning of the season. Now they're at home, but still, right? That's still a tough game. Tennessee's an easy win. Then you play Denver. Once again, another team that's tough.
Division game
that play them very good. And Las Vegas could be tricky. So they're really the only game there that's
Las
like
Vegas has
the Tennessee.
Kansas City's number. There's something there.
That's what I'm saying. So
that's a possibility.
It's crazy that the Chiefs may not make the playoffs. And then you got, let's see who else. You got Baltimore. Let's look at the rest here. You got Baltimore. Let's see their schedule. So Baltimore, you got Pittsburgh coming up. You got Cincinnati, right? They just lost to. So and they're at Cincinnati. So that's going to be another dogfight. Home against the Patriots. At Green Bay, which is a really good defense, and their offense seems like it's starting to come around.
Well, just threw 4 touchdowns yesterday against the Lions.
So even here, I mean, that's not. They have a tough remaining schedule. They got Pittsburgh twice, Cincinnati, New England, Green Bay. That's even Baltimore might miss the damn playoffs. Let's see who else. Then you got
they might not win another game. based on that schedule.
Crazy, right? And then you got the Dolphins.
The Lamar Jackson looks played. I mean, since that injury, boy.
Dolphins, New Orleans.
That Chiefs loss.
They're going to win some games here, I think. They're going to beat the Saints. They're going to beat the Jets, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might lose to Pittsburgh. They're going to lose to Cincy. The Tampa game's a toss-up for me. They could beat them at home, and they're going to lose to New England. So they're at, 4 wins now, I think, right? They're 4-7. Mm-hmm. So let's see here, 5 wins, 6 wins. That's it. Damn, 6 wins. So no, they're not. It's right. Because even if you give the Pittsburgh one, that's 7.
But what if New England is coasting at the end? And
all right, so let's say you give them the New England one. That's 8. That's only 8 though.
Yeah.
So they'd have to have an upset here. They'd have to beat Cincy. They'd have to beat Cincinnati, and they'd have to beat Tampa, I think.
Right.
Which they could. They could beat Tampa, but I think they have to upset somebody here. Cincinnati, they can't lose. They can't afford to lose Pittsburgh game. But you're right. The New England game could be one of those games where they're playing the backups. And then who else is here on the board on the playoffs teams? And then you got Jacksonville. Well, I guess we'll pull up Jacksonville. And then Jacksonville's schedule, you got, let's see here. Tennessee, that's a win. The Colts, they'll probably lose that game. They'll win against the Jets. They'll lose against Denver. I think they'll lose against the Colts, and they'll beat Tennessee. So they're at 6 wins now. So they'll probably finish at, let's see here, at 7, 8, 9. They'll finish with 9 wins, I think, the Jaguars. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? I think there's going to be a 9-win team that make the playoffs, bro. I do, because the Dolphins ain't going to get into 8. I don't think the Ravens are going to get. If the Ravens get in, it's because they'll barely squeak out 9, or the Chiefs. So I think there will be a 9-win team in and that, by the way, includes the Buffalo Bills.
which is a possibility.
Potentially, you could win 9 games. The way listen, if we lose to Pittsburgh, folks, right? If we lose to Pittsburgh, we go to 7-5. We could potentially lose the Bengals. We go to 7-6. We could lose the Patriots. They go to 7-7. Yep. You beat the Browns. Let's say you beat the Browns. You go to 8-7. You beat the Eagles. Hopefully, you go to 9-7, and you beat the Jets at 10-7. But even if you don't beat the Eagles and you beat the Jets, you go to 9-7. So I think 9. We could potentially go to 9 wins. We could. That's why I think this Pittsburgh game is so important. Yeah, I think you have to. I think this is not a must win, but I think this is one you kind of got to have.
Especially coming off a mini bye with what happened last week.
Yeah.
So
let's see here. We're gonna get out of here soon, guys. Been out here 50 minutes, and my man here has to drive in the snow.
Yeah, man.
Anyone with eyes that
yeah. How was your Thanksgiving anyway, Tommy? Pretty good.
Oh, dude, it was good, man. I went to Golden Corral. Not bad, man. For $30 with a drink, dude. The food's not terrible. I gotta be honest with you. I went early. It was kind of quiet because the Lions were playing. Perfect timing. Like there's not a lot of people there. And no, man. For me, I got my grub on. I got every turkey ham stuff and all that good stuff, man. It was good.
I've got to invite you for next year. I got up and started cooking at 6:30 in the morning. It was awesome. My God. Had extra family coming over. Got the dinner going right between the ball games. It was the food was stunning. The lake effect snow kicked in right after we started eating. We're right on the lake here. It was blowing like a mother. And then
oh man, okay.
The Chiefs got beat.
Dude, right? Like I gotta say the NFL this year, they scheduled some great games for the holidays. I'm not gonna lie. All those games, the Thanksgiving games, I very rarely do I watch every game. I watched every game. Like they were all good. And the Friday game today was even good. The Black Friday game. I thought the Bears and Eagles game.
Well, it's Bears and Packers then that took the spot of Bills Bengals at the 425. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Fox wanted to flex that because they want Bears Packers, which looks like it's a great 425 game for next Sunday. And
dude,
I will be at the Ralph for Bengals at Bills. So I'm going to be doing a little something.
You know what's crazy, Ralph? If you look at the standings, right? Like we said earlier, it's not just the AFC. Not just the AFC. There's a lot of teams this year that is just not performing the way they normally do. So look, the Buffalo Bills, obviously, we start with us, 7-4. Nobody saw the Patriots at 10-2. I had the Patriots in second, though. I'm not going to lie. I had them winning about 9 games, but I had them still a second. I thought the Dolphins would finish third, the Jets would finish last, which looks like it's going to happen, but I did not have them at 10 wins at this point of the season. You got Pittsburgh. Look how terrible the AFC North is. I would think, I had the Baltimore Ravens and Bengals fighting for the number 1 spot. They are, record-wise right now, nobody saw this. 6-6 and 4-8, and the Steelers at 6-5. The Colts at 8-3. Nobody saw Daniel Jones and that Colts team at 8-3 right now. Right? I think most people probably thought Jacksonville would probably win or Houston. That's not the case. Denver, I'll say this. The AFC West is a little surprising too. I don't think anybody saw the Chiefs being 6-6 at this point. That's a little crazy.
Or what's going on with the Chargers after.
Or what's going on with, and they have a lot of injury.
Proclaimed
yes.
Harbaugh is the best thing to ever come to the NFL or whatever the crap was. And then, and the way Denver's been winning has been interesting also because it's exciting because everything is flawed. Everything.
Yeah.
Flawed
everything.
In some visible way.
Yep. And then you got the NFC. Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. And then you got the NFC, right? You got the NFC at Philadelphia Eagles. They lost, right? Lost 2 in a row, by the way.
Yes.
They're 8-4. Cowboys, who started off terrible, have won 3 straight. They're 6-5-1.
Just beaten the last 2 Super Bowl teams.
2 Super Bowl. Yes.
4 days apart.
4 days apart. And they are, I'm going to tell you something, they're starting to click. And they're right on the Philadelphia Eagles' ass right now. The Bears, nobody saw the Bears at 9-3. Nobody. The Packers 8-3. I think people saw that. That's cool. The Lions 7-5. I'll say this. I went on record though, and I don't know if I thought I told you about them earlier when we talked about the Lions before the season started. I said they're gonna struggle a little bit because they are losing both coordinators.
You did.
They lost
that.
Remember that? And everyone's like, oh, no. And I said, it's going to be harder than what people think. That's tough to bounce back from when you lose both coordinators who are really good. And they're struggling. 7-5.
They start to catch up to the new guys when the season starts to get this old. And
wild.
That's exactly what's happened.
You got Tampa at 6-5. Carolina, for as terrible as they are only a game back. 6-6. Terrible Panther. Wild.
Mayfield's getting the shit beat out of him every week. So
every week.
Ready to change with that Tampa status as they go through.
Yep. And then you got the NFC West, which is a really good division. The Rams, who I think are the best team in football right now, even though New England has the best record. I think
certainly.
I think the Rams are. Yeah, I think the Rams are a better team. The Seahawks, even. Boy, Minnesota letting go of Darnold for J.J. McCarthy is not going well. Are 8-3. The 49ers are 8-4. That's a good division. So yeah, there's just not a lot of things going the way that I think people thought it would go. A lot of teams are overachieving and a lot of teams are underachieving. So we're not alone.
We've got the best division, as we say, maybe in the NFL in the form of the NFC West. And, you talk about, the 49ers being able to do probably better with Mac Jones than Brock Purdy. That's really saying something about the state of things.
It is. So let's get to the Steelers game. We won't dive too much into it, but we know this is a game there where the Bills got to have this, guys. They have to. They lose this game, they're in a world of shit. They already stepped in it, but they're going to fall flat into it if they don't win this game. This is a game they got to have, in my opinion, because losing this game, boy, they'd have to go on an epic run. They would, because they got some tough games coming up. So I think the Bills I think the Bills win this one. I do. I think it's gonna be close. It's in Pittsburgh. I think they're gonna have a tough time, protecting Allen. Boy, Brady better fucking dial it up. He better get some extra blockers in there. He better call some plays, some quick slants or something. Get rid of the ball. Get Allen to get rid of the ball quickly, because they're going to be bringing the pressure. I promise you. But I don't trust the Pittsburgh offense. I don't. They've been shaky all year too. So not that our defense is great, but I'm gonna go. I think the Bills win this one, 27-24. What do you got, Ralph?
Okay. Well, Aaron Jones has a broken bone in his left wrist, and he did not play last week. That has to have some sort of effect on the situation. Broderick Jones is not playing as a left tackle. He's out. So Joey Bosa on that side, could be seeing some success. We know the receiver is dinged. Give me his name, but Pittsburgh's the guy from Seattle. Yeah, DK. Thank you. My goodness. And then we know they've got one of the ends is out. Herbig's probably going to start, and it looks like Joey Porter Jr. is not playing. So I think the Bills will come back well with offense in response to what just happened. I worry about the pass rush a little bit, but you've got to trust Ryan Vandermark. I kind of trust him a bit. And I'm really interested to see what Grable looks like on the other side.
Grable's interesting.
They put him.
I think could be a future starting tackle for the Buffalo Bills. He's an interesting player.
Based on that, I think the Bills' offense rebounds a bit, and I think that the pass rush wakes up a little bit because the offensive line of Pittsburgh and kind of what's happening with, as you said, the inadequacies and inconsistencies of the offense. And, I've got Bills 34-26.
Okay. Yeah. 34. Jeez, I hope so. Listen, I would love that. They got to open it up more for the offense at this point. You got to let Allen out of the box. All right? You can't keep Allen in the box anymore. It's time. If you have, by the way, Brady, if you have a playbook, if you happen to have a playbook that you hit in that's all dusty, right? That that you think that it's time now to bust out that playbook that isn't so vanilla. It's time to do it. It's time to open that playbook because what you've been presenting this season has not been it, bro. Has not been it. And
we need to also do a deep psychological study of what was going through their mind when they were able to get a 4th and 26.
Yep.
On Houston's defense, because that happened. And so, but I think the offense has a good day. There are probably some early defensive struggles, but I think it shapes up a little more quickly. And I think the pass rush wakes up a little bit tomorrow versus Aaron Rodgers, whom the Bills have had good luck against Aaron Rodgers, actually. The only time they lost to an Aaron Rodgers team is when they snapped his Achilles tendon, and then it was no longer an Aaron Rodgers team.
Right. It was the shitty backup. We lost to
Zach
lovely
Wilson. Jesus.
Can't even beat Zach Wilson. There's Brady there teaching the offense the playbook there, the 6 plays. Let's see, run to the right, run to the left, Allen, tush push. It's crazy if he did actually the passing. I'm looking at it like that would be unbelievable if he could actually. I'll take those 3 plays on the bottom there. I think that's.
Well, at least they are. At least they're not freaking mesh, right?
Right. To me, like at least they're different, right? They're showing something. Yes. The route combinations aren't terrible there. If you would actually run those, I might be happy with it. There's somebody that actually did a Tecmo Bowl like thing, like actually a clip of it. It was so funny.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, did you? I'm hilarious. Like, yeah. What? Yeah, that's Joe Brady for us. Anyways, guys, man, it's been a blast. This was just basically me and Ralph just pretty much bitching and complaining about this fucking team that we love. By the way, we love our Buffalo Bills. Die hard forever. Passionate. I would never, ever stop watching this team. I know Scott earlier said he's done if we lose, but I can't be. Like, you know, look, I suffered through Super Bowl losses. I suffered through drought years, and I still watch this fucking team.
We've been paying the bill this long. We can keep
Yeah.
on paying it until it comes, you know, to fruition.
Right, yeah. Until I pass away, I guess. I mean, I'm still going to watch this team and just pray and hope for the best at this point, because this is really all you can do, guys. But don't jump ship. Like, that's one thing I'll tell you. If you love your Bills, you're passionate about your Buffalo Bills, this is the team that you grew up watching. I know you're upset. I know you're pissed. I get it. I'm with you. You see, we did 2 hours of us pretty much bitching about everything that's going on. Don't jump ship. Like, this is something that you grew up watching, your team you grew up, you know, loving. There's no reason. Things will get better, hopefully. And if they don't, they don't.
The New York Jets, dear Lord, the New York Giants magic I mentioned at the top of the show.
Hey, you never know.
Might still happen. That's what you got to go into. That kind of hope you have to go into.
Yeah, there we go. We gotta have some.
They're just waiting to peak. It's like Secretariat staying behind a little farther in the race.
Have some hope, folks. All right, we're gonna get to the Real Men of Genius, and then we're gonna get out of here, folks. As you guys know, we play a couple of these clips before the end of the show, so we'll go ahead and get into the tradition for this year. Next year, I'll figure something else out because I'm all out. We're actually playing. We're actually doing some ones that we already used before.
Yeah,
but
I watch a lot of Seinfelds over and over again too. It's all good.
Oh, dude, Seinfeld's so great, man. All right, let's see what I got. We'll go with this one first.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
This 4th of July, we salute you, Mr. Backyard Bug Zapper Inventor.
Mr. Backyard Bug Zapper Inventor.
Not content to harmlessly repel insects with lotion, you discovered a way to fry them with electricity until their bodies explode.
Zap kaboom.
Ah, the sounds of summer. Crickets chirping, birds singing, the blood-curdling scream of a moth having 700 volts of electricity shoot through its body.
Music to my ears.
Every night, a magical explosion of exoskeleton and insect goo that can only mean one thing. Summer's here. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. June Bug Blaster, then sit back and watch the fireworks.
Mr. Backyard Bug Zapper Inventor.
I had not heard that one.
It is pretty fucked up, right? Just put this fucking machine on and just incinerates them.
Oh my goodness, that
lots of electricity. What dicks. What assholes we are, huh? The human race. We don't like you, bugs. We're gonna fucking fry you.
Nah, I actually like bugs. I tend to save them. You know.
Oh my god.
So it's funny stuff.
You're gonna come around us. You're gonna pay. You're gonna bite me when I'm trying to have a beer. You go to that light. Yeah, go see it. Go check out that light. It's pretty cool looking. You want to brush up on that light real quick? All right, one more. We're out of here. Let's see here. Let's see. What am I gonna play? We'll play. Let's see. This one's good.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Horrible Injury Videotaper.
Mr. Horrible Injury Videotaper.
Like lemonade from lemons, you take human suffering and squeeze it into sweet internet hilarity.
I think I broke my fibula.
It takes a big man to jump off the roof of his garage, but it takes an even bigger man to get it all on tape.
Keep on rolling.
Your head tells you to call the paramedics, but your heart tells you to zoom in and try not to shake the camera when you laugh.
Oh, tell me you got that.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Horrible Injury Videotaper, because someday we'll all look back on this and laugh. And that day is today.
Mr. Horrible Injury Videotaper.
It's so great. Anyways, guys, we appreciate you guys rocking with us tonight. I'm sorry I didn't get to some of your chat. Usually Mikey helps me out with this, but man, you guys brung it tonight. I will be back tomorrow for AFC Shakedown at 12 noon with the cast, Curtis, me, Juan, Anthony. So you want to definitely watch that. And then pregame Sunday, an hour, usually about 2 hours before the game time, then halftime, and then postgame. So where can they check you out, Ralph?
At the Ralph Rant. It's at Ralph Rant 716 on X, and of course the Ralph Rant on YouTube. And jump in there. We will be doing our Saturday night Attitude Show, some pregame thoughts, and probably expounding on some more of my thoughts in terms of what's going on with the Bills this season. And then, as always, the postgame show immediately following. And on the Ralph Front, we never watch anything else. We just go directly in and tell you what we saw. Sometimes I even have Taylor Salty along with me, as I did after Miami. That was a great show, but that's what we're doing. And Tommy, thanks so much. It's been a blast joining you tonight.
I appreciate you, man.
It's very, very cool. And, good stuff as always.
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming on, helping me out tonight. Mikey was with the fam. And guys,
happy Thanksgiving, Mikey, by the way.
Yeah, Mikey's the man. Mikey will be back post-game show, by the way, guys, on Sunday. And this is us right here. This is honestly, I wish McDermott would actually talk like this and just fucking grow a pair.
In my opinion, that sucked. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
At this
Honest.
Yeah, come on, McDermott. Fucking grow. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear your other bullshit you keep throwing about the fucking complimentary football and this and that, and got to watch the film back and all the other bullshit you throw.
Fundamentals. It's about fundamentals. You've had it for 9 years. When are you going to get the fundamentals into their heads?
Right. Just fucking say it. Right? Tell us how it is. We fucking are playing like shit. You're not coaching well. Your offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are shit right now. We're just hoping we can win a game. That's the truth. Anyways, I'm done ranting.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, appreciate you guys rocking with us. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bills Mafia, you guys rule, and go check out the Ralph Rant. He's doing big things over there. Peace out. Go Bills.
Oh, go Bills.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby, feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let